This is CPM Precalculus Chapter 1, number 71. So here we're asked to solve for x by expressing, we're asked to solve for the following equations for x by first expressing each side with the same base. Give exact answers using fractions and not decimals. Okay, so we should not make something 1.5, we should leave it as 1.5 or 3/2. Okay. So part A is asking us 8 to the power of x plus 3 equals to 32. So the same base. So let's put these two sides in the same base. Okay? So 32 cannot be put in base 8 because 8 times 8 is 64. That's way too big. So we know we're going to have to reduce 8. What is the smaller power of 8? Well, we know 8 is the same as 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 2 cubed, right? That's the same as 8. And so we keep the exponent as x plus 3, right? And 32 we know is, well, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 again is 16, times 2 is 32. Okay, so 32 is equal to, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 2 to the 5th power. So we can say that's equal to 2 to the 5th power. Okay, now we can use the properties of exponents to know that this is the same as 2 to the power of 3 times x plus 3, right? These get multiplied together. It's equal to 2 to the 5th. Okay, so now that we have the same base, they're both base 2, we can say that the exponents alone equal each other. So we can go straight from here to saying 3 times x plus 3, this is the exponent here, equals to 5, the exponent here. Okay, so now let's just solve for x. So distribute that 3x plus 9 equals to 5. Subtract 9, 5 minus 9 is negative 4 on the right. It's equal to 3x. Okay. Then we divide both sides by 3. And we get x equals to negative 4 over 3. Okay. Let's box our answer. And we're done with part A. Because we do not want to put this in our calculator and get the decimal equivalent because it tells us to express the answer using fractions. Okay? So that's A. B. Let's do B in another color. B. B, we're given 27 to the 2x power equals 1/9 to the power of x minus 1. Okay, so this one, again, we can express 27 in the power of 9. We know that's 9 to the 1 power. But we know 9 is equal to 3 times 3, which is 3 squared. So let's do that. 1 over 3 squared, right? And we have to keep the rest the same, x minus 1. 27. Well, what's 27 equal to? That's equal to 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. So that's 3 cubed, 3 to the 3rd power. So we know 27 is equal to 3 cubed. And we want to take this and keep the power of 2x right there. Okay? So let's simplify this on the left. So we want to look at both of these and say, well, 3 cubed to the power of 2x. Well, that's the same as 3 to the power of 3 times 2x, right? Because the properties of exponents say we multiply these. Okay? So on the left, we get 3 to the power of 3 times 2x. 3 times 2x is 6x, so we have 3 to the power of 6x. Okay, so that's the left. On the right, we know we can move this in the denominator up by saying it's 3 to the power of negative 2, right? And we still have x minus 1 in the power there. We just bring that down. And that's the same as 3 to the power of negative 2 times x minus 1, right? Because we just multiply these two together. because that's part of the property of exponents. Okay, so now we have both of these in base 3. Just like here we had them in base 2, and then we set the exponents equal to each other right there. We could do the same. So from there, we know 3 to something power is equal to 3 to something power, right? So that something power on the left is equal to that something power on the right. Okay? And now this is just an equation with one variable x, and we want to just solve for it. So let's go ahead and do that. 6x equals, distribute that -2 in, -2x, -2 times -1 is +2. And let's add 2x to both sides. And we're left with 8x on the left is equal to 2. So let's go ahead and divide both sides by 8. So x equals 2 over 8. We can simplify that. If we divide the numerator and denominator by 2, we get 1 over 4. So this is the answer to part B. X is 1 over 4. And let's continue on to do part C. Okay. Going to do part C over here. So C. C is telling us 1 over 125 to the power of 2x minus 3 equals 1 over 25. Okay. So again, 25 times 25 is a much bigger number than 125. So we need to look at 125 and see what multiplies to itself to get that. So you can start off by, well, let's look on the right side. Okay. 1 over, what is equal to 25? Well, we know 5 squared is equal to 25, right? 5 times 5 is 25. But how do we get 125 on the left? Well, 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125. Okay, so we know 125 is equal to 5 to the third power. Okay, so let's change 125 to the power to 5 cubed, right? That's the third power, to the 2x minus 3 power. Okay, again, we can move the denominator into the numerator by making the power negative, switching the sign of the power. So that's 5 to the power of -3 to the power of 2x minus 3 equals to, again, we can move it up by changing the power to a -2. Okay? And now we just want to simplify this. This we know is going to be 5 to the power of 3 times 2x minus 3. And we have 5 to the -2 on the right. Now that we have the base being 5 in both sides, we can set the exponents equal to each other. -3 times 2x minus 3 equals to -2. And again, we have a simple one variable equation. So let's distribute that -3, -6, -3 times -3 is +9. Let's subtract 9 from both sides to get the variable x alone. We have -6x equals to -11. Divide by -6. We get x equals to -11 divided by -6 is +11 divided by 6, right? And we don't want to put in our calculator because we want to put the answer in fraction form. So this is the answer for part C. And that ends CPM Precalculus Chapter 1, number 71.